He has.
And there we are.
And that's why, because he's got to blow it for full time as Maidstone United lose again and don't score again at the Gallagher Stadium or in the matches in general this season. It has finished Maidstone United 0, Maidenhead United 1. Another performance flattering to deceive, huffing and puffing, and Maidenhead's house stays intact. Alex, your thoughts on a disappointing result and outcome again today?
Yeah, I think, I'll start with the positives. I think the first half we did show some moments of good quality. As I said, I think Riley caught probably my man of the match from a Maidstone perspective today. I think he was involved in everything, created some good chances. Just involved in the build-up play quite a lot, and I did like what he had to offer today. But the goal for Maidenhead is, how many times have we seen that this season where we can't clear our lines properly, and it comes from that throwing from Maidenhead and the ball in, and then I think Harness he gets a hand to the initial effort in fairness, but then there's just no one to pick up the second ball, and it's it's a bit deja vu in that sense. And the second half, obviously we saw the likes of Papadopoulos come back on. I thought he generally had a fairly positive game. I think some of the other substitutes probably didn't have the impact George or the fans would have wanted, and in that sense I think the second half in general we were just a bit lacklustre. We didn't really create one clear-cut chance apart from perhaps Papadopoulos' free kick in and Fowler's flick on, which
looped over,
was very unfortunate. And obviously Dion Moore had a great chance to go in on goal, but it was straight at the keeper. So apart from that, we just didn't quite have enough. And Maidenhead, in fairness to them, I think they really dealt with us well. I think they kept Dion Moore very, very quiet.
They themselves didn't create too much either, though, Alex, which is the frustrating thing.
Yeah, that's the thing with football. Sometimes it's just about taking your moment when it comes, and for them that really was probably their best chance of the game. Was that attempt, and that's football sometimes. But at the moment the stats are a bit bleak for Maidstone. Last four games now, 9 conceded, 0 scored, and you have to ask what are we doing wrong? What needs to change almost? And is it just that the new players that have just come in need a bit more time now to integrate into the squad?
Well, they've certainly got a couple of weeks off to allow them to integrate before they play again in 2 weeks' time at Dagenham and Redbridge. Well, I'm off to interview George Elokobi. So before I do that, as I say, a fortnight without the men in action, so do come along to the Gallagher for the next couple of Sundays with the women in FA Cup action tomorrow and league action next Sunday, 3:15 kickoffs. Myself and Nigel will have a preview video and podcast for you before that game in a couple of Saturdays' time on the road at Dagenham and Redbridge. And it will be myself and Nigel Seeger at the Chigwell Construction Stadium for that match here on Stones Live. From myself, Sean Skerr, and from this man, Alex Dalval here. Thanks for your company this afternoon again. And as always,
come on you Stones.